Postpartum eczema flare-up is a thing today, but I'm not going to let it stop me from doing this video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I did have another video planned for today, but it's just not ready yet. So I thought I would do the mum tag for you guys. So this was actually trending last year. Get with the times, Lottie. But I am new to YouTube, so I thought I had a little excuse for being a year late on this. So this mum tag was created by Emily Norris, and if you don't know who she is, she's a big time motherhood and lifestyle YouTuber, and I will leave her link down in the description for you guys to check it out. And I just thought this would be a good video to do for you guys just to get to know me a little bit more as well. Number one is what's your favourite mum hack? I had to think about this one for quite a while, but it's something simple, but I use it every day. On my changing table, you might have seen in my previous videos that I have a little hook, and I use that for an open nappy bag so that every time I'm changing a nappy, I can just dump it straight in without having to worry beforehand about kind of opening up a nappy, especially if there's a massive explosion. Like sometimes I'll take the nappy off and then I'm like, oh no, hang on, I haven't got a nappy bag open ready yet. So I like to have a nappy bag open at all times, ready on a hook. And I've also recently got rid of our changing table, so I've had to try and incorporate that into my new kind of storage system, and I will show you guys that in my nursery tour, which will be coming on the channel very soon. Even though that's really random, I think that's something that has really helped me quite a lot, to be honest. Okay, number two, most embarrassing mum moment. To be honest, we're in lockdown, so there hasn't really been any moments, so I don't think I actually have an embarrassing moment at all. Sorry. That's a good way to start the video, really, isn't it? Number three is, what part of the day do you love the most? So for me, this sounds really bad, but I actually really like bath and bedtime. Not because I'm just happy that the day's over, although I do really like my sleep, but more because I love Lila Rose being in the bath and just how excitable she gets now that she's 4 months, and also just kind of getting that time to really wind down with her. She's normally in a really good mood because it's like late evening, so she knows that it's bedtime and it's going to be bottle time before that. And it's just really nice doing like her moisturising, taking care of her skin, because obviously I get eczema as well, so that's really important to me, and I used to love it when my mum used to moisturise my skin all over and take care of me. I used to feel very, very loved in that way, so I really enjoy that. And obviously it's just like having nighttime cuddles before she goes to sleep as well. I absolutely love that. Number four is, what part of the day do you like the least? I think it's probably afternoon to late afternoon. For some reason, every single day that seems to be a time where Lila Rose is just grouchy. You can't do anything right, like you try anything, but it's just like this period of time where she's just grouchy for no reason. Like you don't even know what's wrong with her. I find that quite stressful. Like it could be the space of like 2 hours, but that 2 hours feels like a whole entire day in itself, and then I'm just can't wait to get to that bath time. So yeah, that's that one. Number five is, the worst thing someone said to you when you were pregnant. My family don't know that I do YouTube yet. I don't want to tell them just yet, so when I do tell them, I feel like my grandma will eventually watch this. I do love my grandma, but to be honest, she said something to me that kind of rattled me when I was pregnant. So basically, it was at my gender reveal, and if you haven't already seen on my YouTube channel, I did have a miscarriage before getting pregnant again with Lila Rose, and I was at my gender reveal with Lila Rose inside of me, so it wasn't my previous pregnancy, and she asked me, how's it all going? And I was like, oh, I'm getting a few twinges, being quite honest with how like I had a few twinges, a few little crampings, which I had read was quite normal, but she came back at me and said, oh, you shouldn't be getting twinges, you shouldn't be getting cramping. That's not normal. I really didn't even know what to say. Having had a previous miscarriage, how was that supposed to make me feel? So that was one thing. The other thing was actually just people giving their assumptions. I think when you're pregnant, like everybody feels like they want to put their input in, which was fine. It was absolutely like fair enough. But when it got to the very, very end and I was 16 days overdue by the time she actually came, everyone kept telling me all the way through, you're going to have her early. She's going to be a really small baby. She's going to be this tiny little petite baby. And the more I got past my due date, the more I started getting really angry and frustrated at those people that were just all the way through trying to drum it into my head that she was going to come like 2 weeks early and she was going to be this really small baby. I think I had in my head that I was going to meet my baby, and then it got past the due date and I just started getting like, it just started irritating me, to be honest. It sounds really bad, doesn't it? I've lost count now where we are. Number six, oh, the baby name you didn't agree on. So for us, this was Caleb, which is completely off the table now, which is something that I really wanted for a boy. I absolutely loved the name Caleb, but Rick was just like, nope, not happening. And we only had 2 girls' names, which the other one is reserved for if we ever have a girl again. But yeah, it was just Caleb, really. Number 7 is, do you co-sleep? So we do have a next to me, you can see it right there. but I've never actually taken the zip down. I know a lot of people that do co-sleep, but I have never really been a fan of it. I feel like it would be harder to transition to her own room eventually, and obviously we want to do that when she's 6 months. So also, I'm one of those people that just like to have my own space when I'm sleeping. Like, this is why Rick really works for me, because we can just quite happily turn over, face opposite sides, and just like not touch each other when we're actually sleeping. Like, when I'm sleeping, I need my space. I've always been quite nervous of the idea of having that down and having her co-sleeping. To be honest, I'm quite wriggly as well, so I don't really get how people don't like hit their babies or like suffocate them with the duvet, because I'm one that likes to snuggle right into my duvet. I know that they sometimes get to the stage where if they have nightmares, they try and get into your bed, which is something that I'll probably just deal with when it comes. But for mine and Rick's relationship, we just prefer that hopefully she kind of stays out of our bed. Number 8 is, what is something you've bought but you've never used? I did actually do a baby products I regret buying, which I will leave a link down in the description for you guys. The first thing I actually talk about is the same thing, and it was the MAM bottle warmer and sterilizer. The bottle warmer, you had to get the water levels right to make sure that the bottle was warmed at the correct temperature. It was just really hard work, and we actually did use the MAM bottles at the start, and you don't actually need a sterilizer. You can just put them in the microwave and sterilize them. So for us, it was just a complete waste of time and a complete waste of money, and we ended up selling it as quick as we bought it. Your 3 hospital bag must-haves. So I do actually have my what's in my hospital bag and what's in baby's hospital bag videos, so if you want to check those out, I will leave the link down in the description. If I had to choose 3, the main ones would be sleep suits with built-in mittens for your baby. Take a couple of muslins, even if you're breastfeeding, it's just such a handy thing to have. And the third thing is adult nappies. Definitely, oh my goodness, these were a game changer. Instead of just maternity pads, these were so much more comfortable. Actually, I might even have some to show you. Bear with. These, I've still got some now because they were actually handy for postpartum when you have your period again, and sometimes you can get really heavy periods. So these are brilliant, and they are so much more comfortable than having loads of knickers and maternity pads. Obviously the knickers get wrecked. For me, I just found this so much easier, and they weren't even that expensive. So yeah, this is a must-have. Number 10, are you a routine mum or a go with the flow mum, and what does bedtime look like? 100% a routine mum. I am not a go with the flow person at all. I really wish I could be. I wish I could be relaxed like my sister is. She's very like chilled, go with the flow. Nope, I have always been the neat, scheduled, keep everything perfectly boxed kind of person. So I would say definitely a routine person, and bedtime is very scheduled. So I always run the bath at the same time. We always do like the same kind of routine, and then we always get her down at the same time. So yeah, very routine based. I also do have a video which is when I first started YouTube, so it isn't a brilliant quality video, but it was when Lila Rose was about 8 weeks, and that was a nighttime routine. So I will leave that link down in the description for you guys if you do want to check that one out. But I do actually have an evening/night routine coming up soon, so I do have an updated version coming. Number 11, what type of labour did you have and what pain relief did you use? Well, I actually just did my labour and delivery story, what, 2 days ago? Or it got posted yesterday, 2 days ago? I can't remember now. God, that's really bad. I can't remember what the day is. So again, I'll leave that linked down, but I will tell you that it was an induced labour, and I ended up having quite a nice relaxed labour. It did end up as a cesarean. It did end up as a cesarean. There you go. And I had gas and air, and I did end up with an epidural as well. Have you ever been mum shamed? To be honest, we've been in lockdown again, so no, there hasn't been enough times, to be honest, like that of being with people. So no, unfortunately not. Well, not unfortunate. The biggest challenges you faced since becoming a mum. So 100% not finding my own time and trying to find the balance to find my own time. I found that the biggest thing to overcome when she first arrived, and even now, to be honest, just finding time to even like take a shower sometimes is really difficult, especially for somebody that likes to be in a routine. You've got to work around what your baby wants, and obviously that is different every day. The other thing I think is the relationship side between me and Rick. That has come with a lot of different challenges, which is very normal for a lot of people, but that has definitely been something that we have struggled with. The difference between our backgrounds has shown up, and just in general you can just get very hot-headed when you're trying to deal with a crying baby all day in the beginning. So yeah, I think those were the hardest things. 2 more. Number 14, the best bit of advice you've ever been given and the biggest piece of piece of advice you'd give to a new mum. So the best piece of advice I have ever been given was from my friend called Jordan, who has 2 children of her own, and she told me to start getting into a bedtime routine around about 8 weeks old. She actually told me to start making it so that you have a top-up feed before your baby goes to bed, and to be honest, that was a game changer when we started that. So we used to just feed her before she went to bed, and then she'd be up within like 5 hours ready for her next feed, and then she would go back down and then up again whenever. So we then started changing it, so before she actually went to sleep we actually fed her like an extra bottle somewhere. So if she was going to go to bed at 8 and that was her last bottle, we would actually feed her a little bit extra at about 6 o'clock, or we would bring her bottle sooner and feed her at 6 o'clock and then do the top up at 8 o'clock before she went to sleep. It definitely worked for us. Like, she just started sleeping through a lot longer because she had a little bit more of a full belly. I know people do a like a, is it called a twilight feed, where they do it kind of like 10-11 p.m. We did try that once. That was the first time we tried it, and that just backfired completely because it just didn't suit her. I might do a little video to talk more in depth about that and how we got her to sleep through, if you guys would be interested. So the piece of advice I would give on to somebody else is, if you need to, put your baby down and go do what you need to do. I think a lot of us, especially when we are first time mums, if our baby's crying, we feel like we have to have them in our arms all the time. And I'm not saying put them down and leave them and try and get them to entertain themselves all the time, not at all. If you need a shower to keep your sanity, as long as the baby's not bright red in the face and like not even breathing because they're crying so much, then they will be okay if you go and have a 5-minute shower. And the very last question, who is your mum crush? So this is to do with YouTube, so it's not somebody that, like, I'm not going to say someone that you guys don't even know, but I would have to say Lucy Jessica Carter. I absolutely just love her. I've been following her for a long time, before she even had her twins. I will leave a link down in the description for her channel as well if you guys don't know her, but I definitely think she reminds me of my sister as well, especially when she just had 2 boys, because my sister's got 2 boys, so I absolutely love her. So that is everything for this video, and I'm sorry it's not the actual scheduled video, but I will be doing that scheduled video that was meant to be for today. I will be doing that on Saturday. So thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed to me already and you would like to, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you leave, because it really helps to support my channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!